Welcome to another episode of the Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Harrison Watt. This week on the Ferris Sports Update, we'll catch up with assistant coach of Ferris State football, Brian Rock, as well as head coach of Ferris State women's soccer, Greg Henson, after their big weekend in GLIAC play. But first, joined by Kristin Janes with Ferris State softball. And I know a tough first week of conference action, but some positives to be taken out of the weekend. Maybe just take us a little bit through after you get to evaluate how you're feeling about it.
Yeah, we started off conference play with two of the best teams in the conference in Northwood and Grand Valley. And they say if you want to be the best, you have to play the best. So I'm glad that we had the ability to go out and start against two really good teams to see where we were. And we did have some good offensive production, especially on Saturday against Grand Valley. We put up 9 runs in 2 games, and that's a substantial difference from what we've been able to accomplish in the past. And so I think that's great momentum going forward.
Trying to get the bats woken up, and obviously you talked about 9 runs in 2 games against Grand Valley this weekend. And obviously things a little bit magnified with a little bit of a different pitching rotation than you expected at this point. But offensively, how are you feeling about the bats coming along?
I think it's pretty cool because we have quite a few young hitters in our lineup. We've got multiple freshmen as well as multiple COVID redshirt freshmen that are really starting to step up, get their feet wet, and really put themselves in the position to be successful at the plate. And, we had quite a few at-bats this weekend that runners may not have advanced, hitters may have not have gotten on base, but man, we had some really great contact and hits that we know, they're going to come through in the future.
Taking a look back at the highlights from the Northwood series here, and obviously important for you to get out on your brand new surface for the first time. And I know you would have liked the result to end differently, but just to get out there the first time, man, it looks really good here on film.
It looks fantastic. The turf plays phenomenal. The outfield has really come along in its 6 months that it's had to grow in. And we could not be more excited. It really brings a pep in the girls' step and an intensity knowing that they get to play on this phenomenal field.
I saw some really good leadership out of some of your upperclassmen in situations where the games did get a little bit tough on you. I saw a couple situations in the infield where Caitlin Orm would go out to the circle a few times, and maybe talk a little bit about kind of the team chemistry right now, because it seems like despite things getting tough at times, that you still got a group of kids that's going to do what it takes to be good.
Oh, definitely. We have multiple veterans out on the field on top of those young players. Caitlin Orm's been a 3-year starter at first base, Paige Quartz in center field, and Cody Ramirez at shortstop. And having those players that have the experience, that have gotten the chance to be a part of this program growing over the last 4 years, I think that really helps them keep things in check when things maybe do get a little crazy within an inning, or maybe we don't hit as well as we would like in a half inning. And having them there to support their teammates and to keep pushing forward has been a huge asset to us.
And you do have some power bats in the lineup, but that series against Northwood really did not lend to power hitting with the conditions of the wind blowing straight in from center field, which I don't know that I've seen that very often in that park.
We have a big ballpark as it is, 220 feet all the way around, and a 10-foot fence is just about as big as it gets. So you see a lot of balls stay in the yard at our place anyways, but yes, that 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing dead in, it was a rough hitting day. Ball gets up in the air and it got knocked down pretty darn quick.
Yeah, we saw that actually in women's soccer this past week, so you're not alone in some of the tricky weather conditions. But taking a look here, some of the positives, maybe what did you take out of these first 2 games against Northwood in conference play?
I think the girls, no matter what the situation was, definitely still gave it their all. Our outfielders made some phenomenal plays in the outfield. Our infielders, definitely were put in some tricky situations and were able to keep their heads and get out of it. And so, yeah, it was a good experience. No, not the outcome that we wanted, but we're still growing and learning every game, and that's the important part.
What are some of the things that after you had a chance to look back at this weekend's set of games between Northwood and Grand Valley that you're looking to improve? Obviously, you want to get back in the win column like you were at the beginning of the season, but a lot of things to do to make that happen.
Yeah, it's funny because there's not a lot of big changes that need to occur. Our game is so much a game of inches. So a little bit here, a little bit there, and there's so many situations that it's 100% different of an outcome. So I don't think it's going in and reinventing the wheel. It's just making some slight adjustments on all sides of the game. And I think, like I said, the outcome's going to be a lot different. I love the fact that we get to play everybody a second doubleheader in conference play. So you do have a bit of a chance to redeem yourself the second time through.
And you talked about having a lot of young players in the lineup. How important is it to be able to, when you don't have a full lineup, to get them in for some valuable experience against quality opponents early in their careers?
Yeah, your young players are the future of your program. And yes, you're playing for the here and the now, but seeing such bright stars in that lineup as young players in their career, it just makes me smile and so excited and confident, for the years to come on top of what we're doing right now.
Looking forward next weekend, obviously Saginaw Valley State next on the docket, and a team that can really put the ball in play at the plate. What are some of the keys maybe to victory against a team like that?
With them, like you said, they're going to put the ball in play. So it's just being prepared for those situations when it is put in play and really being proactive and thinking one step ahead of them. Pitching, as always, is going to be key, but continuing our confidence in run production, that will be huge for us as well.
Coming in now at this season, a little bit different. You're at a point basically where most of, if not all, the roster is a roster that you recruited or brought in. How have you seen the team maybe change at this point as you try and make your vision of the team a reality?
Yeah, each coach has their own recruiting style, their own style of play. And we've had some phenomenal players here in the past, but as you said, with most of these young ladies being recruited by us, they fit our mold, our style. They have the skill set in different areas that we're looking for, and it has created a substantial amount of depth for us on this team. So, injuries occur and different situations happen, and having the ability to go into your bench and say, hey, it's your turn to step up, and having the ability, and we have the ladies to do that this year, which is a big change from years past.
And you talked about situations where people have to step up and get in and play a little bit more than maybe they expect. Aaron Gallagher got in and pitched a little bit as a freshman on the road at Grand Valley, and maybe talk to us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, no, it's been phenomenal. Aaron had an injury early on in the year that we weren't sure she was going to get to play much or if at all this spring, and she's had some innings under her belt, actually both against Northwood and at Grand Valley, and she has progressed so quickly, and now I think is going to be an extremely important piece of our pitching puzzle.
As you take a look forward to the rest of the conference schedule, hopefully getting some better weather conditions, a little bit more warmth coming up as you get out here on the diamond, but maybe what are some of the things you want to see your team improve upon over the next several weeks as you prepare for that GLIAC tournament?
Yeah, the ebb and flow of the game, I think, is something that we could really benefit from keeping. It's all about who's got the momentum and how long can you keep it. And I think if we can harness the ups and downs from occurring and stay as steady from a momentum standpoint as possible, that's really going to allow us to do some really great things.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll talk Ferris State football with Coach Brian Rock next on the Ferris Sports Update.